Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the internet. LiveMusicStage from the digitalmusic.org booth here at South by Southwest, and I am so lucky and privileged to be here with Nick Adler of The Roxy, who revitalized the Sunset Strip, but we're not going to talk about that today. So
I'm so lucky to be sitting here with Brian Zisk.
So
I feel the same way. I mean,
we're having fun, and we have like 20 minutes to talk, so we're like thrilled about this. So, you know, the internet and social, and it's all come so far. And 10 years ago, you weren't all that active on the internet.
I was not.
And now you're I don't want to use the word expert, you know, but you're known for knowing what's going on.
Yeah.
And you were lucky enough to have a couple people who helped bring you up
Very much
to this state. And at this point, you're helping other people kind of get to be much more net savvy. So if you had a way of kind of expressing to people what they needed to know to be successful on the net, do you have any things to talk about?
Yeah, I guess I do have things to talk about in that area. You know, I think some people think it's too complicated right away, and I think that scares 90% of the people who might want to be on there. They just think it's too much.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when you look at everything as a total thing, it's too much.
Right.
But you know what I say? When I do this with bands a lot.
Right.
Because you have 5 people and they're like, we don't have time for this, and they think everybody has to be involved with everything. It's like, who likes to take pictures?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love to take pictures. Great. You know what? Instagram.
Right.
Who is the most poetic? Who is the most witty with the lyrics and the words and this and that? Boom. Here you go. You're gonna tweet. You know, so you know you gotta find that kind of gateway for people, and it might be through pictures, it might through text, it might be creating Spotify lists, and you're going to be the guy that or the girl that changes the Spotify list every week and updates it with your favorite music. Those are all different, you know, it's not just Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. There's so many different things out there, and you just have to match up the right person, and then once you start getting that feedback, then it's easier for you to transition into other things. I almost sound like I'm talking about drugs for some reason, but sorry.
This is Texas. We don't do that here.
Okay, good. But it's just this thing about that once you start interacting in the engagement, it's such a high that it's easy to start moving into like, oh, I want to try this out. I want to try that out. So usually I tell people, pick one thing that you like and you're good at, and go in through that way. Don't try to do everything at once. Don't try to sit down and create 10 profiles. Just don't do that. Get that feeling, get that warmth, get that engagement, that community feel that I was so lost. I didn't even know that existed out there, and now I love my Twitter followers, my Instagram, like passionate for them, they're passionate for me. It's really great.
So how do you determine, like, is it, oh, well, I really like this, but it's not a popular service, versus, oh, well, Instagram's blowing up? I mean, all these new things are popping up, and do you have to talk to someone who knows more than you? Do you just have to try them all? You know, how do you decide? Because as you know, once you start on something, there's nothing worse than getting, tons of followers and then just not dropping it. So how do you decide, as someone getting into it, what to really go with and what amount of effort to put into it?
Well, I go back to what I just said. I mean, me personally, I'm going to go with what I enjoy doing, because if I don't enjoy doing it, I'm not going to spend time on it. So I actually just had to delete, I think, 40 or 50 apps on my phone so I can get some updates so I can come to South by Southwest. And I realized, wow, I go through a lot of apps, but I want to try them. I want to give them their due.
Sure.
You know, I want to see what the community's like.
Sure.
And if it doesn't work, then you know what, I will move on. But I won't really try to build that community until, I won't kind of bring my other community.
Sure.
So, I have a bunch of people on Twitter that are tech savvy, are music savvy, the kind of these different groups within that one big group. And when I like something, I'll go out to them and I'll say, hey, let's move this over and come try this. But I won't do that until I've tested it out myself. gave it to a couple of my coworkers, some friends. We tried it out. I think it happened with color, for example.
Right.
I mean, there was all this excitement.
Right.
Everybody in the office downloaded it. We all started messing around with it, and we all.
And then they orphaned you.
Yeah, and then that was it. And so there was no need to say, "Hey, everybody, come on to this." So
sure.
Again, for me, it comes down to what do I really enjoy doing. I love music. I love pictures. And I love communicating. So if anything falls in there, I love eating, but I haven't had a lot of success I haven't really tried for the social kind of food apps out there, food spotting or some of those, just because that when I eat, I don't want to. That's just not something that I do. I have friends that will take pictures of every drink that comes to the table, every food. For me, that's not it. I'd rather take a picture of a beautiful sunset and share I guess I'm more about moments.
Got it.
I really love moments.
Got it. Well, I mean, it's interesting to hear you say that because you kind of have a distinct style of eating. And when I see you post about food on the various networks, to me that's really interesting because it is distinct. It's not like I'm here eating a burger. It's like I found the best veggie place in Toronto.
Right.
And
well, as a vegan, I think I'm more promoting the vegan lifestyle through things that look amazing or taste amazing.
Sure.
I'm not a preacher. I don't want you to be vegan. I don't want this person to be vegan. That's not what I'm out here for.
Sure.
But I do want to open up people's eyes that, hey, this is another way I could eat and be responsible. I could enjoy myself and feel great and, those type of things. But I know I have my sister, for example. I don't know if anybody is left that reads her Facebook because I'm pretty sure that everyone's blocked her.
Okay,
because it is graphic animal pictures of people doing things to animals, and I'm just like you can't beat people over the head with it. If you want to bring them in close, you have to do it through food, do it through I do a LA Vegan Beer Festival, which hopefully you can make this year.
When is it?
It's May 4th.
Okay, maybe.
On the Sunset Strip.
Maybe.
And
if I could fit it in with the digital music event going on down there, the NARM one. Hey, when's the NARM event? May 6th through 9th. So go to the LA Vegan Beer Festival and then go to NARM.
You got a day to recover and then you can go down there.
Cool.
But something like Vegan Beer Fest where, using the ideas of social, of everybody can join in, everybody can participate. I'm not alienate anyone. You don't have to be vegan to come to it. You could be the biggest meat lover in the world and still have a great time. But I bet you leave saying, oh my God, that thing that I had was amazing and that beer was great. And I just opened up a little mind share there and there with a little vegan spot.
Sure.
So that's kind of...
Sure. So I'm about to cut 5 minutes from the interview now where what I really want to know are where the great veggie places in town to eat are. But we could talk about that later because it's not interesting to you. But what I want to know is, so how do you use social networks to discover the places? Is it people's recommendations? Is it Yelp? How do you, when you go to a new town, tune in to what you're looking for?
Well, everyone does say Yelp to me, and I ask the question and 50% of the answers is use Yelp, use one of those. And the other 50 is what I'm looking for, and that's people's personal recommendations that are my friends on Twitter or Facebook telling me passionately, here's why you got to go. That's what I'm looking for. I mean, Yelp is great, but there's such a strong, just like there's people love music and love these.
But people will vote it down because they're like, there wasn't any meat.
They love being vegan, And so there's these great vegan communities. I just spent a year being a raw vegan, and I went to Toronto, get off the plane. What do you got? What's the best spot in Toronto? Boom. 10 different spots for me to go to. Same thing happened in Vancouver, Austin. Dropped Austin. I posted this great thing on my page yesterday. All the vegan places to eat in Austin.
Great! I got it. Which on your personal page?
Yeah, on my Twitter. And
oh God, I got to go look at
Adler.
that. Awesome.
And on the Facebook, and it's got the full breakdown of every single. I think there's 15 different spots where there's great vegan food here.
Awesome.
So again, it's creating that community.
Awesome.
That you give to every day with education and support, and if they want something, and then when you want something like, where can I go eat? They want to share that right back. So there's this great engagement that goes on in social.
So do you look at how you use social and how people use social, and then work that into when people are using social to promote or kind of push? Do you look at it from how you like to receive the information?
Yeah, I don't like a big push. You know, I'm not I mean, I'm probably saying this and I'm not realizing that I'm doing it, but but I want it to be friends. You know, that's really important to me, that people that I respect. You know, when you post something, I know that you're posting it, and right there it went through the spam filter.
Right.
It went through the stress test. It went through all of that. I know if you're putting it out there, hey,
I'm not bullshitting.
Check this out.
Right.
Then it's already very high on my list.
Right.
And you know, I've been doing this for 5 or 6 years, and you create relationships with people, and you have communities out there, and they will filter it. You know, that's what it is. Those are my filter. You know, I don't need to turn a little filter switch on. I created it with my community, and it goes through that community first by the time it gets to me, and then vice versa. If I'm sending something out, I have so much respect for them.
Right.
That I'm not going to bother them with something that I wouldn't want to see on my page. So we've kind of, you know, pushed all of the bullshit out, you know, to the side, and we've created a pretty through channel to get really good information.
So do you deal with different networks in different ways? I mean, because clearly there are some networks where it's more, you know, like some networks, it's just your family. And then there's friends, and then there's others where, you know, like Twitter, where my guess is you probably don't know 5% of the people who follow you. Do you just be you everywhere, or do you have different approaches based on, you know, both the medium and the relationship between you and your perceived followers?
I am pretty me on there. It was something that I had decided to do early on. I wasn't going to put anything on there that I would have a conversation with my wife about, my accountant, or my lawyer. Right. And everything else was pretty much fair game. So if I put a tweet out there, it's for everyone. If I put a picture out there, I'm never going to be like, oh, I shouldn't have posted that picture. It was too personal. Or I created my own filters, my own restrictions early on. And a part of that was my wife. You know, I was eating dinner very, very early on Twitter. And she's like, I don't want you telling everybody where we're eating all the time. Right. And so I learned to take a picture, mark down a moment in my mind, and then later that night, you know, I could
when
give a shout out.
People can't stalk you there.
Yeah, I guess. And give a shout out to the restaurant. But she just made me, you know, realize very early that you know, if I was going to do this, I couldn't pull in other people, right, because they were around me, or, you know, it was something that I was doing, and it was me sharing my life. But when it became me sharing me and my friends, or my wife and I, that was where the line was drawn. And I learned a lot from that, because I then knew that social wasn't for everything. Right. Social was for 90% of my life. Right. And I could share that, go on trips and this, and I could, if it's the right restaurant, then yeah, I'll share it. But if it's a personal moment, if it's family time, sure, I don't need to give that up. So I learned really early on to kind of create those barriers for myself. So do you find that how much you're possibly going to share something is based on how active in social all the other people around? Like, so if you're with Nate, who's like, you know, are you more likely to do it? Yeah, if I'm around my social friends, we're definitely putting it out there. I can just warn anyone that does follow me this week, it's going to be a lot of tweets. So just get ready for a lot of posts, pictures, tweets, because it's a social gathering. This is, you know, this is that type of moment where there are people that can't get here. Right. And they might be down the street.
Right.
They might be in Los Angeles. They might be in Finland. But I'm here as a conduit to show them what, you know, I have that relationship. They want to see what's happening. I want to show them. I'm not going to over tweet. I'm not going to over post, but I'm going to give them as much to the experience that I'm having here as possible. And this whole time while I'm here is a shared experience. From the minute that I woke up on this morning at 4:30 and looked at my phone and said, I can't believe I'm getting up right now. Can I just hit the snooze button? To the car ride, to the getting on the plane, to landing.
Right.
People want to be on that journey. And that's one thing that I've learned with my social is I have some people following me and they get excited, you know, and that's it. That's what I go back to the beginning was, once you start to feel that engagement, you know when you should be posting, what you should be posting, what you should not be posting, because you're listening. You know, and if you're just posting without listening, that's why you don't have any followers.
So is oversharing, is it a big problem? I mean, is it really, if you're posting compelling stuff, you can post all the time, or is there really, I mean, are there, you know, I mean...
Well, I think what the question is there compelling stuff all the time?
Okay.
So,
right.
You know, that's where it's hard. It's hard to post all the time, and I won't waste Instagram on any, like, it has to be a compelling special moment or a picture.
Right.
I'm not just going to go like this and post it out there. I would take this picture.
Oh, but it's fascinating what's out there.
It is. Oh my God.
Oh, if you guys could see it, it would just blow your mind.
But it has to be special. So again, I went back to, I have a respect for my community, and I'm not going to overshare with stuff that doesn't matter. I will overshare with stuff that, if it matters,
right, then it's not oversharing.
No, it's not oversharing. I will put it out there.
Interesting. And then, so how do you deal with kind of the fire hose? Because you're connected with so many interesting people, and you know, how do you decide what to like to take in, considering there's so much?
Well, I have to thank TweetDeck.
Okay.
That is my, you know, I kind of think of when you're watching The Matrix and you know the one guy that sits in the chair and he's looking at all these zeros and ones flowing down, and he completely knows what's going on.
Right.
My wife comes in and I'm in there with I got my tea and I'm sitting there and I'm like, you know, and she's like, how do you even, can you look at that? But for me, it's like I put them in the right filters. I put them in the right columns. I want keywords on this. I have my Sunset Strip people.
Right.
I have my vegan people. I have my tech community. So I have them all. So it's just like a newspaper. I got my main feed, which is my front page. Now I want to go to the sports section. That's my Lakers feed. They give me all that. I want a little food. I got my, you know, my vegan section. So, you know, I kind of looked at it like a newspaper, and I laid it out in that order too. So it's my main, and I'm not my main feed meaning everyone that I follow.
Right.
Like my curated main feed, people that I want to see their tweets, and there must be about a couple hundred of them in there that, and then, you know, and then I move in, I get deeper and deeper, and then I have my projects that I'm working on. Because what I've noticed about the social and the internet is you can't just jump in.
Right.
You really gotta, it's like jumping into a pool and making sure there's water.
Yeah, there better be.
Yeah, because you know what, you could say something that's off, and it could be someone passed away, an event happened, it's the wrong timing.
Right.
And that's where you fail on social. So you gotta make sure there's water in the pool before you jump in it.
Sure.
And so that's what I do, you know, when I sit down. Before, even if I want to make a little something, I'll look and see what the conversation's like. What's the tone out there?
Sure.
Before I put that out there.
Interesting. So we're about to wrap this up. Any last words for the thousands of people who are watching us out there in the interweb?
I'm really looking forward to see what's happening in Europe in terms of social and getting the chance to go out there, meet them, any of those. So if anyone's out there, I'm dying to get out there. I was born in London. My mom's Swedish.
Are you going to hit any of the summer festivals? They've got some great ones over there.
I haven't, but I want to.
They're spectacular. I haven't been in a while, but it was great.
Well, I'm ready.
Well, thank you so much. We got Nick Adler here. I'm Brian Zisk. We're here for LiveMusicStage in the digitalmusic.org booth. Thank you so much. And how long do we have left? 5. Done. Bye.